Recording in progress. Good afternoon, Rotary Club of Flint. Welcome to another Friday. We are here together on August 26, 2022. Pre-Crim Day. Yay. All right. So today is Make Your Own Luck Day, Musical Yoga Day, didn't know that was a thing, National Dog Day, and National Toilet Paper Day. Something for everyone. It's also Forgive Your Foe Day for anybody who's been nursing a grudge. Today we are pleased to welcome Denise Diller and Tiffany Summers, who are joining us from Crossover Outreach. And we'll have a chance to hear more about the exciting work that they're doing. And we're also going to release the results of our first ever joke duel. So without any further ado, let's proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God. And also the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And today for our inspirational message, I'd like to welcome up Joy Peterman. Thank you.
So this message is about events in your life that will shape your future. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. In the middle of a beautiful city, there was a museum laid with beautiful marble tiles and with a huge marble statue as part of the display. Many people from all over the world visited the museum every day and admired the beautifully crafted statue. One night, the marble tiles started talking to the marble statue. Hey, statue, don't you think that it is just not fair that everyone from all over the world come all the way here to admire you while ignoring and stepping on me? My dear brother, said the statue, marble tile, don't you remember we are actually from the same cave? Well, yes, I do. That is why I feel it is even more unfair. Both of us were born from the same cave, and yet the world treats us so differently now. This is so unfair. Yes, you are right, my brother. But do you still remember the day when the sculptor tried to work on you, but you resisted his tools? Yes, I despise that guy. How could he use those nasty tools on me? Well, since you resisted his tools, he couldn't work on you. When he decided to give up on you, he started working on me instead. I knew at once that I would be something different and unique after his efforts. I bore all the painful tools he used on me and allowed him to craft me as he wanted. But those tools were so painful. My brother, there is a price for everything in life. Since you decided to resist and gave up halfway, you can't blame anybody who steps on you now. The marble tile silently listened to his brother's words and started to reflect on it. The harder the knocks you go through in life, the more you learn and put them to use in the future. Do not be discouraged by setbacks and failures. Keep trying to be better.
Is that it? Did you get it?
Thank you very much for that, Joy. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. Please go ahead and finish your meal, and we will reconvene in just a few moments with our program. Folks on Zoom, welcome. I'm going to
We'll leave you to breakout room, you have a chance to chat, and then we'll come back together in.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I've always.
Yeah. Right, and then you're going to back. Yeah, that's okay. So when I first my oldest is 22. She was born. I was only 200. $5,000 a year. Watch my child do that. Someone else is reading my daughter. You know, when the job crossover.
I think only one benefit of that.
We've got a breakout room going on now. If you care to join that, and then we'll come back with everybody together in just a few minutes.
Okey-doke. Thank you.
Last year or something. I'm very good.
Yeah. I would love to. Well, I do.
Looks like folks are back from our break. So we'll get started with.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you've been enjoying your lunch conversation, and if you haven't had a chance to finish your meal, by all means, go ahead and let yourself finish. Just wanted to get underway with our business portion of the meeting. And starting off with any announcements from the floor. Anybody have anything that you wanted to announce today? No? Okay. Well, then I am going to share one piece of health and welfare information, and unfortunately, it's a sad piece of information. Longtime Rotarian and local philanthropist Al Kogel passed away Wednesday morning. Yeah. So I definitely keep his family and loved ones close in your thoughts. There's been no information released yet regarding service or anything of that sort. But certainly as that becomes available, Amy will share that through your email. So do keep an eye open for that. But clearly Al was somebody, even though his health didn't permit him to attend in person these last couple of years, that he has been a long time fixture here, and somebody who's done an awful lot of good for our community. So I just invite you to perhaps take a moment of silence and quiet thanks for his life.
Madam President?
Yes.
A voice out of the air. We also lost another Rotarian early this morning, and I just got a call from his wife, Reverend Jim Kennedy. Another wonderful Rotarian. And I just want to let you know, and there are no announcements there, obviously, at this point as to what's going on, but so that's my message.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Bob. I am likewise very sorry to hear about his passing, and I know that even again, even though his health didn't let him be here in person, he was really making a point of attending over Zoom whenever he could. And you know, his heart has been with this club for a long time, and our thoughts and love go out to his wife and his family as well. So again, we will certainly pass along more updates about that as they become available. Anybody else have any health or welfare updates to share? Any guests to be welcome today, either on Zoom or in the room? Okay, don't see any guests today, but there's it's always good to see some faces in the room. Glad for those that are able to rejoin us again after perhaps not having had the chance to attend it in the last couple of weeks. So always glad to have you here. And it's just as a reminder, if you do have somebody that's in your circle here, or you perhaps you haven't had a chance to check in with for a bit or haven't seen around, you know, there's always the opportunity to reach out, and especially having gone through COVID and all that separation, just the more that we can do to really reach out to one another and be of support, you know, that's very much a welcome thing. So I made a personal point of trying to reach out to a few folks that I hadn't seen in a while last week. And I'm going to continue to try to do, but certainly the more the merrier with that. And it's always nice to receive a call and know that you're thought about and cared for. So I also wanted to share a couple of kind of announcements of a lighter nature, given that we are here at the end of the month. We are here celebrating the month of August. And I'd like to do like little updates about what the day is, the National Day of whatever. Well, August is also has several monthly recognitions, one of which is American Artist Appreciation Month. So we of course have our own resident art expertise and offerings available through groups like the Flint Institute of Arts. This particular sculpture that you see on the left there is a piece by an African-American artist named Chikaya Booker. I first got to know her work a little bit through the Mott Warsh Gallery, which is another resource that's available in the community that's located right there on 5th and Saginaw Street, where the old IRS building was. And just some really interesting sorts of art there. So just a reminder that we have some terrific resources and always lots of chances to explore. In this case, Chikaya Booker, she actually makes all these things out of old tires. And I just can't imagine, like I don't have that personal creative spark to be able to look at a tire and see that, but it's just amazing to me that she does. August is actually also National Truancy Prevention Month. And so there is a picture of our very own Judge Duncan Beagle and his attendance court. So attendance court has been around now for quite a few years, but when it first came about, it was a rather innovative sort of thing. So a special court process to try to help kids who are maybe not attending school regularly to be able to have a plan in place and the necessary supports and sometimes consequences to help make that happen. So something to be proud of for the work of another Rotarian here in the community. August is also Black Business Month. And so if you haven't been aware of that in the past, maybe this upcoming weekend is a good opportunity to think about whatever services I might need here. Who could I patronize? Who could I go to maybe expand my business connections and network? So the Flint and Genesee group, which was formerly known as the Chamber of Commerce, that they've actually put together this initiative called the Flint and Genesee Business Bridge, where they are soliciting any vendors, local business people who are people of color to have their businesses listed and to have a special, kind of like a LinkedIn for local businesses of color. And it's a resource then to think about how can I reach out and expand my business networks and maybe have a chance to learn about the services of some groups that might not have been on the radar screen before. So that's another neat resource. And right now they're doing the business recruitment side of it. And I understand that within the next month or so that they're hoping to launch the forward kind of public facing side of that so that people seeking businesses will be able to utilize that. And we couldn't let August pass without recognizing it's August, which is International Pirate Month. So I know sometimes we've had some great impersonators who like to talk like the Pirate Day. So if that's your thing, you got a whole month to devote to it. And of course, anybody recognize this particular pirate? This is none
David
other-
Smith.
Exactly. Okay.
David Smith.
David Smith, the pirate. No, actually, this is Edward Chief, aka Blackbeard. So I always have a particular affinity for him because when I was really young, my grandmother had a Blackbeard the Pirate book that I think used to be my dad. And so sometimes my sister and I would go and spend the night and she would read to us from the Blackbeard the Pirate book. And she would always sing it. She's Blackbeard the Pirate, the Pirate. So that's your little Blackbeard International Pirate Month festivity. And if you didn't know, August is also Romance Awareness Month. So we have several Rotarians that are making us aware of their romances. And so special shout out to Marcia and Fred and Connie and Mike and Ellen and Bob and any other Rotarians that had a chance to be with a special sweetie at some point this month. And last but not least, it's also that back to school time of year. And Amy Cruz was kind enough to share a picture of her daughter, Elizabeth, who is showing just how ready she is to go all in for kindergarten when she and Eleanor start. So here's to August. All right. So that brings us now to our we'll have a special announcement regarding the CRIM. As you know, tomorrow's a big day. So if you volunteered for the CRIM Rotary Mile, we'll see you bright and early at 5:45 for some breakfast and Bloody Marys, and then onward to volunteer on the CRIM Rotary Mile. And of course, that's not the only Rotary involvement in the CRIM. We also have a special update from our Champaign Corner correspondent, AKA Rob Jewell.
And you thought you could get a week away without me. The CRIM is upon us, and as you're well aware, there's a lot of time for fun and excitement and adventure. The Champaign Corner, as a number of you are familiar with, will make its presence known tomorrow. However, there has been some discussion with the fermented grape sponge and the Orange Juice Guild, locals 48504. The grapes in orange juice is concerned, especially in relationship to supply chain issues, inflation, and apprehensions about public health, congregating, and work safety guidelines. So for those of you who will be walking or running by the Champagne Corner, it will be a dry run.
For real?
Yes, it will be a dry run. However, the Champagne Corner will continue its unique sparkling ambiance in cheering the runners and walkers as they head out, moving on from the Champagne Corner, which is 3.3 10-mile marker, 2-mile marker, but for the 10 mile, they'll be heading out to where? The Rotary Mile. So it'll be an opportunity for that. So again, we just want to say thank you for our efforts. We will still be there and appreciate it. And so we want to toast all of you for your efforts.
All right, thank you for that update from our Champagne Corner correspondent. And actually, the fun does not end there because my understanding is that there is a special raffle.
Yes.
So I'm going to invite up Fred with the bucket here for the 50-50, but before we do the drawing for the 50-50, there is the opportunity for whatever Rob has in the paper sack.
You know, this might be bigger than the regular lottery. And on the level, guys, I have not had any hand for half. That's a story I'm thinking.
All right, well, I'm sure it'll be a very honest raffle as always.
Oh, yeah. Would you, who would you like, you're the president, would you like to draw the special lottery?
The special lottery, okay, I can do that.
Well, as you're drawing, go ahead. The fermented grapes fund, the local 48504, wanted to make sure at least somebody here had the opportunity for your own bottle with or the complimentary Champagne Corner Golden Bees.
All right. Very good, golden bees included. All right, so the winner of the champagne bottle and the bees is 84739.
Oh. No, not me.
Not Rob.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that. The
Rob
guy made
Buell got his own champagne. All right.
Great, thank you, ever
Oh,
so much.
look, this is stolen, man. I don't care.
Second for the 50-50 and let somebody else draw this one.
Let's run 3 and 1 gallon of gasoline.
All right, we'll try this again. 84767. That's Jim Richardson gets the champagne and the bees.
Oh, actually, don't prove champagne.
So you can pass.
Draw another.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, we'll put all these ones back in for the one, yeah. 84754.
Well, 84754, thank you.
Jerry Hill gets the champagne, all right. And then we'll put the others back in for the.
Really? I thought you were Jerry. No.
And we'd like to just pass on to be added to each of the drawings for the 50-50 complimentary Champagne Corner Golden Beans.
There you go, all
Thank
right.
you.
Is that like Mardi Gras where I can ride on a float and throw cheap
Yeah,
trinkets to the crowd?
If it's
No,
like
this is
Mardi
just
Gras, I don't
champagne.
think I
Oh,
would.
okay.
All right, let's see what we got for third prize. 84750. Okay, Joy gets the bees in the third prize.
Who's
Joy, let's see, somebody mind delivery?
Thank you. And that's 1 gallon, 1+ gallon of cheap gas. Maybe a gallon of high test.
All right, second prize, 84923. All right. Tiffany.
and see, I told you our guest win.
She get beans too.
You too.
No.
For all the marbles. 84733. I was off by one. Oh, right, excellent. Well, don't forget your beads.
Well, which reminds me, never. And President Elizabeth, I understand you had a high class joke last week. There's a terrible joke. There was a murder in Flint a couple nights ago. The cops found the victim in his bathtub. It had Captain Crunch and milk in it. The cop told the Flint Journal on an anonymous basis they were worried about it beginning of that they had a serial killer in town.
Okay.
That's right. Ooh, yeah.
That's all right. Fred's gonna have his chance to do his real best joke ever at an upcoming joke duel. Speaking of which, we have to share the results, and unfortunately, neither of our participants from last week's duel are here, so they can't get their official Rotary jokester pins. But the next time that they come, we'll have to grace them with that. But for those who were here, what did you think of the first joke duel? Was it good? All right. Well, we're going to do another one probably in the month of September. I have the first entrant for that lined up, but if you're somebody who had agreed to the joke duel and would be available in September to do that, come see me afterwards or send me a text or an email and we'll get you lined up. Otherwise, I'll have to come after you, which I can do. Happy to do that. All right, so the results of the joke duel. Lynn Horan.
Who won that?
Lynn. Yep.
Lynn.
Lynn won. Yep. Yeah, there you go. So both put forth a valiant effort, but Lynn came through with that victory. So we'll keep track throughout the year and see what happens over the next few attempts here. All right, and last, before we head to our main presentation, is August birthdays. So I don't see Becky Millsap here today, but I do see Jerry Hill, and he's showing a paper, which I guess means that he has the birthday list. So come on up, Jerry.
Purely voluntary here sometime in November, but they ran out of people in August, I guess. So we have, this should be long, so everybody's sitting down. We have two birthdays this month. Well, one is for the 7th, and that's Bill Beck, dentistry, and I can't pronounce it, but 26 years. Congratulations, Bill. I wish I had his dollar. And Kathy Gonder, who I haven't seen for a while, she's done a lot of reading, helping with reading. Human services is where she works, but it doesn't have the years, but it's quite a few.
Yep.
So I wish I had a joke this morning in Fred, but I know. So we'll see.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Jerry. And I see Bill Beck on Zoom. So
I couldn't say happy birthday, but I know.
you know what? If you'd like to, because you probably got the best singing voice, certainly better than mine.
Well, I don't say the best. I think.
All right. Well, we need somebody to lead us in happy birthday. So
What?
yeah, let's do it.
Well,
There you go. Let's do it.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Okay. Thank you so much for pinch hitting, not only with reading the birthday list, but singing it too. And if none of you have heard Jerry sing before, he's got a great voice and has been part of the Flint Festival Chorus.
That's right.
Yep. So something I look forward to every spring with the Flint Symphony with their final concert. All right. With that, it is my pleasure now to bring up Joel Fike, who is going to introduce our featured speakers for today.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and greetings. Ooh. Well, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Denise and Tiffany and the organization that they represent. Crossover Outreach's mission has and always will be to feed the hungry, clothe the poor, provide services and programs to uplift those in need, and restoring hope and rebuilding lives right here in Flint and Genesee County. Not only do they provide daily services, but they also have annual programs that include food pantries, holiday programs, back to school, character building camps, winter coat giveaways, and more. They're open Tuesday through Friday to serve clients in need for food, clothing, personal hygiene items, cleaning supplies, household items,
I've got a meeting going, and sorry.
more. And they involve many local organizations, Genesee Health Systems, Red Cross, several others. Now, Denise Diller heads up the organization, and perhaps as you've seen, they are building a new facility right there on Court Street, right down from the White Horse. And I'm sure she's going to tell you all about it. So, my friends, please welcome Denise Diller.
Okay. That works. I have a loud enough voice. I didn't know if you wanted me to be at the microphone and I blast your poor eardrums. So thank you. I'm Denise Diller. I have been at Crossover since 2012. I had the luxury of being the development officer until Craig Levitt, our former director, decided to retire from his retirement gig. And I took over as director, and we're blessed to have Tiffany as our development officer now, and a small crew that is just full of love and spends each day trying to make sure that people in need have the things that they need desperately. So as Joel shared with you, we've been there this is our 31st year, providing free emergency food, clothing, personal hygiene products, cleaning supplies, and household items for those in need. We do that a little differently than some other agencies in community. We work on a referral basis. So we have over 100 agencies that are signed up with us to refer people to Crossover. They qualify the need, send the person to us. Our goal when they walk through the door is simply to welcome them and make sure that they can go shopping for the items that they need to get the things they need for their children and the other food and the other personal items. But our goal is uplifting people. It's making sure that people walk through that door, that they know that we see them and that we understand that each and every one of us is a health issue or a job loss or some other situation away from needing help someplace like Crossover. And so we want to make sure that everyone knows that they're seen, they're respected, and they're loved when they walk through the door. So that is our main goal, is showing that love of Christ, restoring people's hope, and rebuilding lives. So in addition to all of our daily programs and the other thing that working with those agencies does for us is when we see someone multiple times, if they don't have an agency that's referring them for whatever that core issue is that causes them to need basic needs assistance, then we can have that conversation and get to know that person a little bit better and find out what's going on in their world and make sure that we can connect them with another agency and community that can help with that issue. So our long-term goal when we move into our new building is to expand those programs that help to lift people out of poverty and provide that additional self-sufficiency that people need. For now, we are working hard to make sure people have what they need as they work with those other agencies. Our annual programs are some of my personal favorites because we focus on families and children. As we all know, kids don't have any say in the situations in which they're born. So we have a special heart for kids. So right now we sent over the summer children, and we send them every year up to one specifically Christian program, which is a summer camp for kids. We send them up to Camp Chickagami in Presque, Michigan. So up to 20 children who are entering 3rd through 5th grade and 20 entering 6th through 8th grade are given a week-long up north summer vacation. We do a pre-camp party to make sure the kids get to know each other, and we charter buses to take them up and bring them back so that they can have that experience, that finances are not a barrier to that experience for our kids. We are currently in the midst of back to school. Every year we send children back to school with 2 new outfits, 6 new pair of underwear and socks, a new pair of tennis shoes, and a new backpack with age appropriate supplies. Something their size, their school colors, special just for them. To make sure that we're uplifting that self-esteem, that we're giving them that positive reinforcement. It's always fun when the kids come in and that we get to make sure that the shoes fit and they're so excited about the backpack. We just provided one to a young lady yesterday. They moved back from another state because of an abusive situation and got back here. And the question was, how do we do these things? And so they're trying to get on their feet in a new place that's a safe place. And when she came in, she was so excited. She got a beautiful pair of Diodoro tennis shoes, really cute, nice, high quality shoes. And when she saw the backpack that was a pink check, kind of looked like a Vans kind of thing, she was so excited. And that's the reason we do what we do, is that face, that smile, that you could see the change in her demeanor with that one little thing. You know, and we all have the ability to do that. It's that one little thing that really makes a big difference in anyone's world. So, so in addition to back to school, then we also have Easter program where we provide all of the items to make an Easter meal, a gift card to purchase the main source of protein, and baskets for each of the children. At Thanksgiving, we provide all of the items to make the meal, plus a gift card to purchase the turkey. And at Christmas, we provide gifts, meal. Children get new pair of pajamas and a new coat if they don't already have one. And everyone in the household gets something. So the goal is to serve the whole family and to really make Christmas a special time for them. And then starting November 1st, every child that needs a coat gets a brand new coat with hat, gloves, and if we have them, which we're working on getting a lot more, new, nice, warm winter boots as well. So we serve an average of, over the past 5 years, an average of 13,500 people a year out of our little building. Each of those people, we hope, walk out of the door feeling uplifted and blessed. Now, the reason that we're here to say thank you to you is you've given us a wonderful grant to help us with landscaping on this new building. So if you've never been to Crossover, I would ask you to come and take the tour. We'd love to give the tour. We are in a 100 and who knows how many extra year old house that was built originally for a family of 4 with an addition to have the food pantry on it. And when you walk through, the one thing that is blatantly obvious is that we are in desperate need of space. We have back to school happening right now. And so if you walked into the building and walked back to the children's shopping area, there are tables and tables of things everywhere. They're upstairs, they're downstairs. It gets very crazy. We have toilet paper stuffed everywhere because in February, one of our churches does a toilet paper drive for us called the Teepee Bowl. That's Super Bowl Sunday. They bring out 6,000 rolls of toilet paper, which is great because we need it to give out to people as we go through the year. But where are we going to keep all that? You know, we are getting ready for coats. We write for grant funding. On an annual basis, we purchase $5,000 worth of coats. Now that's really nice coats that we get, probably $80 to $100 coats typically that we get for $15 or less each. So we have rooms upstairs that are literally, they look like little alleys that have coats on either side, and you get hang a hard right, hang a hard left, and you're just kind of walking through the coats. And every year it's up and down to get those things to where we need them to be. We get donations on the dock. Our dock has storage at the back of it, but usually there's so many donations, you can't access the items that are stored until you get the dock completely cleared. And that's happening every day to every other day. That the dock is so full that we have to try to find places to stuff things, because as we all know, when do you bring winter coats in? At the end of the winter. So they have to live somewhere until winter starts again and we can give them out to people. And we need them. We know they're going to be necessary. So we are building right next door to us on Court Street between Grand Traverse and Oak Street on the corner of Court and Oak. We are building this wonderful building. It is, we say 7,500, but the plan is 7,700 square feet, specifically laid out for what we're doing, an expanded pantry, large, beautiful shopping areas for our clients to shop, and a 2,500 square foot storage area in the back with 12-foot ceilings to allow us to have enough storage to keep off season in a sensible, logical way. Rolling racks that we can bring in and out of our shopping areas for all of the in-season clothing, where we can put off-season on racks that await moving out for the season. And a wonderful community room at the front, allowing us to work with some of our smaller neighbors, our agencies that maybe they don't have a place to do their programs. And like the beautiful rooms here at the food bank, we will have a little area for parenting classes and financial classes and things of that nature. So when we have people who are closer to us and they need those services, but they don't have the means to get to some of the other places where they go on, we can collaborate with those agencies to bring them right to crossover and make sure that people are getting those services, but also smaller agencies. And I always use a group called Mothers of Joy. Cherise Stapleton has this wonderful parenting program. But to have an MOU with them and allow them a code so that they can go into the building after hours, use that space, and just have that agreement that they're going to leave it as they found it. We can block off all the back for our services so they have access to that community room, the welcome area and the restroom, and be able to conduct those classes as well. So truly making it more of a community resource, as well as a resource for those in need of assistance. I will say, Elizabeth had mentioned earlier, she asked me what was the thing that, since I started, what is the one thing that I've noticed that's changed? And the one thing I've noticed that's changed the most is that we have a lot more families now who are working full-time and are trying very hard to make ends meet. People that we would not have seen in 2012, that would never have come in because they were making ends meet, but it's not happening now. And so we are seeing more people who are, for lack of a better term, the working poor, people who are doing everything that society says you need to do in order to be successful. It's just not working. This building, this additional space allows us to serve more people, add additional programming to make sure that we can uplift as many people as entirely possible. And the way in which we do it is the most important thing to cross over, is making sure that people feel good when they walk out. One of our biggest things is when we get donated clothing, if we would not put it on ourselves or our own children, it will not go out on the floor. Because we want people to know that we see them, we love them, we respect them, and we want them to have good quality items to choose from. So part of that, and the money that you have granted to us, is for landscaping. And as you can see, there's some very beautiful areas around the building to allow for places for people to walk and enjoy. And one of the things is when you go somewhere, how it looks, its physical appearance, its cleanliness, its organization, that all tells the person walking through the door, you are valuable to us, and we want this place to look nice so that when you come here, you feel good. So I know it's plants and trees and mulch and things like that, but to us, it is really the outward symbol to the people who are coming to crossover that this is a place that's welcoming and loving, and that we want you to come in and feel like you're coming home. So thank you all for your part in making this dream a reality. We are $400,000 away from being 100% funded on a $2.5 million campaign. We have broken ground. We are waiting on an MDOT approval. And then dirt will be moving and building will be going up. So we would love to have you stop by, see where we are, and we'll be inviting you back for a ribbon cutting ceremony so you can see where we will be. So thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
How many square feet did you say your new facility?
It's going to be 7,700 square feet. Yes.
I'm interested in your intake. You said social service agencies provide you with people, they refer you people?
Yes.
So what, like one of us who, let's say you didn't, and you knew of somebody, wow, this person needs.
Oh, they
help.
just come.
And
We,
you just walk over
yep.
there and say, hey, I need help.
Yep, they just walk in. We're going to help them. But if they don't come in on a referral, that's when we can say, okay, now the next time you come in, what we want to know is what are the things going on. We're never going to let someone walk away hungry, ever. It's just not going to happen. And that first time is a walk-in. All services are available, but that's an opportunity for us to be able to have that conversation and make sure that we're getting people connected where they need to be connected. Because we do what we do, and we do it with love, and we do it well. But we don't do everything, and we don't want to do everything because there are so many amazing organizations in our community that are doing phenomenal work. We want to work with them and to help support what they're doing by helping support and provide items necessary to their clients. So.
Yeah, I'd like to hear a little more about the organizations, maybe 2 or 3 of the organizations like Carriage Town or Catholic Charities, or just briefly, who do you work with and what type of things some are better than others to work with, and you have some things that they don't, and they have things that you don't. How does that work?
So most of the agencies that are referring to us are, so the Disability Network refers to us, Valley Area Agency on Aging refers to us, the Greater Flint Health Coalition, CHAP, Catholic Charities does refer to us sometimes, Carriage Town, Shelter of Flint, all of the, pretty much, Voices for Children.
And how do you not bump into each other? I mean, in ways that are things sufficient can be. So they, for example, the new building that they're building for the county, Genesee County Health Service, and how do all these things work? You got to work with these different organizations that best used to help the community. I think what you're doing is wonderful. I mean, I'm just trying to understand it a little bit.
Right. So, and I might be mistaken, but so when we work with an agency, we have an agreement with them. They're going to send people to us when they have clients that need the specific things that we have. And if we have someone who has need of their specific services, we will send them to them. We do that, and we want to make sure that the agencies we work with kind of have that same expectation of the quality of service that we have as well. Now, if you're talking about duplication of services, throughout the year for different programs, that agencies that do Christmas or things along those lines do get together and collaborate to make sure that there's not a duplication, so we can cross-reference the names that we've received to make sure they're not being served by another agency. Like, say, for instance, Carriage Town is not doing what we do necessarily, but they do have a Christmas program, so they're a part of that list, and I can look and see. And if Carriage Town is already providing Christmas items for this family, then we call them and let them know we hope they have a blessed and Merry Christmas. We're going to let Carriage Town go ahead and take care of them, and that gives us one more spot that we can serve another family that needs. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where does the majority of your funding come from for programs and services? Is it like private
contributions or the grant dollars from?
So we were actually started by 3 of our downtown churches. So Court Street United Methodist, St. Paul's Episcopal, and First Presbyterian Church actually all came together. Their parishioners and their pastors came together to create crossover because they were each doing a portion of what we do. A few years down the line, Riverside Tabernacle joined on. So each of those churches commit a certain amount of money every year. But we also write for private foundation grant funding, sponsorships. We receive donations from other church congregations as well. And then the majority is from individuals who believe in what we're doing. The only government funding that we received, we did get PPP during COVID. But the only government funding we receive on a regular basis is we can take advantage of USDA buys through the food bank. So and we did get some government funding for the building, but when I started, I was actually told no government funding. And so that's something that we've stuck with. And our budget is around $350,000 a year, and that's 100% private at this point.
Well, my question was a little bit about the duplication too, because it's, you know, it sounded like there was a duplication because of all these other outreach programs that are available in Flint. Do you service countywide or do you service within Flint?
We actually have no barrier other than people's ability to
So
get
then
to
do
us.
you work with the outreach programs around the county, like with one in Davidson and one in Flushing? Do you work with them as well?
We have called Outreach East and Flushing Outreach. We have spoken with them and worked with them when necessary. But not
It seems like
necessarily.
the coordination of all of these different groups. Everybody's trying to help, and then how do you coordinate?
Well, and how do you keep up with everyone that pops up here, there, and everywhere at every single church? So we have to be, we have a limited amount of time to do a lot of what we're doing. So certain of those things we try during those programs, but on a daily basis. And this is going to sound bad. I'm assuming that someone walking up to my door saying they need food, that they really do need that food. You know, there's a point of pride with most people, and it's difficult for people to walk through those doors sometimes. And it has happened on a number of bases that will have people who come in and break into tears because just the fact that they've had to come and ask for help is so difficult that they just break down right there. So I'm less worried about that. And my personal perspective is in any situation, you're going to have people who are trying to buck the system, right? They're trying to get something for nothing. But if I put too many rules in place, or if I worry too much about a lot of those things, the people who really need it and are struggling with asking for help to begin with, they're going to be the first one to say it's too hard. I just can't do that. And they're the ones who need it the most. So that's where we're a faith-based organization, but we don't expect any faith in return from anyone walking through the door. I always say, I don't care if you're agnostic, atheist, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, you walk through the door, you're a human being, you need assistance, we're here to help you. Part of my faith is that I'm going to focus my efforts on the people who walk through the door and need it. And if somebody's obviously abusing that system, we will do something about it. But otherwise, I'm giving that one up. Does that?
Yeah, I agree with you about that.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, you have to be being organized. And I guess it's with that coordination of all, like you were talking about Christmas. Okay, oh, my God, in heaven, who does more for kids at, you know, at Christmas time than a musical? So how do you coordinate all
And
these different campus charities? How do you coordinate?
Yeah.
That's a food. How do you coordinate?
yeah, with basically we do that with the Christmas program, with those types of programs. We tried to do that with Winter Coat. Some agencies won't give you their information. Some agencies just refuse to, and so you do the best you can. Unfortunately, that's, yeah.
I think we're time for
Connie,
one more.
did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
So We had pre-COVID been doing a comedy for crossover in the fall, and we're hoping to do that again next fall. So that, when we did that, it was at the farmer's market. And great event, fun night of comedy and just having a great time together. We have a luncheon in May every year where it's a thank you luncheon for our donors. And so we'll have to invite you all to come and join us. And we give out our awards each year. We give out award for our Spirit of Crossover Award and our Friend of Crossover. Friend of Crossover is for someone who's been assisting us over many years. And the Spirit of Crossover is for an organization or group that has done something over the top in the past year. So, thank you.
All right. Well, let's show our appreciation. Thank you so much.
It's terrific having you here today. And although I have driven past crossover a million times and had a general idea of your service, I have a lot better understanding of it today. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here and to educate us all. And as one of the things that we like to do as Rotarians is, I'm sharing with Tiffany over lunch, is that the eradication of polio is one of the things that Rotary International is focusing on. So as a thank you for your being here today, a contribution will be made in your name to the efforts to eradicate polio. Yeah. So I also want to say a special thank you to all the Rotarians who were helping to put the meeting together today. So Joel for introducing the speakers, and Joy for doing your inspirational message. I didn't see Dawn here today, but she always does a fabulous job with putting together the bulletin each week. Thank you for those who stepped in to help with setup and take down today. I saw Terry and Fred helping with that. And then of course, always helping at the registration table. And our, not Becky, but our Jerry Hill giving us the birthday list and the song today. So
And I'm tired.
well, the good news is after this, you can go home and rest however you sleep. Next week, we will be not meeting here in person. It's the Labor Day holiday week. And so we will have the option of folks meeting at the White Horse if they choose. And per usual, Rob is requesting that if you think you are planning to go to the White Horse, would you mind raising your hand so that we can get it accurate ahead of time?
If you're thinking of bringing a guest, it'll be 2.
And if you're thinking about bringing 2 guests, then you have to add a foot. Good luck with that. I think Fred, is your?
I show up. We're
He
all gonna
shows
get
up?
an audience.
Okay. Invitation also stands for folks on Zoom. If you are not sure right now, then you can feel free to text me or email me during the week, and Rob, I'll send any of those updates to you along the way. And then we'll be back in person on September 9th. We're going to be hearing from Jason Carlisle, who is over at Genesee Career Institute. For those who grew up when I did, you might have thought about it as the Skills Center, but they're going to be sharing something about the programming and the various vocational career paths that they help to nurture for young folks over there. So please come back for that. And in the meantime, thank you so much for being here today. And as you go and enjoy your weekend, whether it's running or walking or volunteering with the CRIM, or just staying, avoiding trying to cross downtown in the car. We also invite you to think about Rotary, imagine what it means for you, your community, and the world. So with that, we are adjourned.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, hey, Bob, how are you?
Is this birthday month for you?
It is the 7th. I turned
right.
80 on the 7th. Yep,
Were you in on it when they recognized you?
I was.